Hey everybody, this is TorontoUnicorn and
I'm DJ Slim,
who goes by Steve sometimes on this channel. Basically, this is a follow-up to the podcast episode where I talked with Steve about the journey of TorontoUnicorn since he is a super fan as well as a great friend. And so one of the tasks that I asked him to do was to come up with 10 of my over 700 videos total?
Just 700.
Just
I mean, around the block, right?
Yeah. So I asked him to come up with a top 10 list of videos of TorontoUnicorn that he would recommend to somebody who was unfamiliar with my channel.
Look at
and we want to know why. Don't give us, like...
Yeah, I'm not just going to just bring the video and just not say anything.
Yeah.
Now, remember, these videos impacted me as a viewer and really got me to dig deeper. As you already know, I'm a big deep diver on things. Not just TorontoUnicorn, but everything in my life. So, it just happened that I got to know you this way.
Well, you got to know me through the basically YouTube screen is what you're saying. Is you didn't know me by the time you saw some of these videos.
Of course.
Yes. Okay.
So, this is to give you a little more context on the way I approached it, and for all you guys out there, here we go. Number 10. You ready to see this?
Yes.
All right, come on. Let's take a look.
Oh, wow.
Male persistence.
Let me read the title.
Yes.
Male persistence, why it works and why it's needed to get scorned women. And then there's more.
Oh, there's more. There's always more.
Back in your life.
And I think that was just interesting. This was really, really early when you started doing all your podcasts and everything. And you're trying to give out advice. And I thought it was actually just very, very interesting. I got to see a side of you where you're trying to give out advice. It was very simple. And you just also were just saying how you felt as a woman against all these guys who, you know, screw up, or, you know, they're trying to ask you out and they just shit the bed, so to speak, right?
Yeah, pissed us off.
And it was advice. It wasn't entirely sexual advice, but you know what? If you don't get a relationship, I'm sorry, sex isn't really gonna be there. Well, it could be casual sex, but you know what? If it's gonna be deep and meaningful, you kind of might want to read this stuff.
Yeah, so this was the very first advice video I ever made for my channel.
Yeah.
And it was literally in response to an ex-boyfriend who kept fucking pissing me off, bailing on me, being unreliable, or hangouts, and that's not something that works well with me.
No.
And so I basically would be like, no, like, I'm never hanging out with him again. And then, like, he would just chisel away at me to the point where I learned what it worked. And I was like, yeah, this guy, if he takes the sting away, even bite by bite or text by text, whatever, eventually the sting gets out, the feelings process, and then he's still hanging out, he still wants to hang out. I'm like, all right, fine. Like, it's like I chill out, I cool down, but only if the persistence is there and the effort persists, but in a respectful way. And I'm telling you, I basically was like, hey, this guy keeps getting back into my bedroom and I don't know how. And then I was like, how is it happening? And I realized it, and so I made the video.
Well, persistence is something that I stand by a lot as well. I mean, it's one of the things that I've done in my entire life. People tell me I can't do something, fuck that. I'm gonna keep going until I get it. So I resonated with this, and I was like,
awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I love the little thing you said is, the prize is in the balloon. You gotta kind of let out a little bit of air, just a little.
And sometimes that's just a text that's like, I know you're mad, but I still, like, love you. Even if we're like, fuck that guy, we're like, but still, like, it still feels good. Like, we, like, totally take it in. So,
oh boy,
I'm telling you, this was gold advice. And how many views? It never really got off the floor.
Yeah.
Because I was so new back then. But yes, I hope you guys click. All of these links are going to be in the description of this video.
It's more valuable than it looks.
Yes, it's pretty choppy quality.
Choppy quality, wow. Yeah, that's true.
I was new.
All right, number 9.
Okay.
When you see this, you know what? I remember I'd watched your Oasis tour video.
Okay.
And then literally the next video came up and it was this. And I laughed my ass off so hard that basically it's good advice, but it also got to show me a really cool side to her.
Okay.
And that would be
hard. Okay.
And that would be,
oh, do not take your dick pics here from women everywhere. That's so true. Okay, turn it off.
Yeah.
So that is a very old video of ill-fitting clothes.
oh,
It's so terrible, but I had a message.
No, No, but you look great. You look great, and I think the funny part about it is it was the way you talked about the advice. You were just right up front with everybody. It's like, you're gonna take a dick pic, don't do it on the toilet because it's in the area where you just shit or you just shat.
I could totally
and so
recreate the
forth.
whole moment. You want me to do it?
Yeah, you might as well go ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna laugh right here.
Do
right
not take a dick pic on the toilet. That will tell us that you have either shit, you are about to shit, or I don't know what the third one was.
You just shat.
Or you just shat. You know, like that's in the toilet. Like it was just so gross to think that no one puts two and two together. That we know why you sit on porcelain bowls. So if we only see the we're not fooled. We know it's a toilet.
Yeah.
We don't need to see the floater.
Yeah.
We just know it's there.
There's enough logs in the world.
And you don't want to associate that with a sexy dick pic. You want it to be not associated with those things.
The
right?
advice is good, though. I mean,
Right?
come on. It's a little common sense, guys. Like, I would hope you would think that, but it would blow your mind. And like I said, this has got a 9B because of the fact that you had that. This is the part that made me just bowl over laughing.
Oh, the real dick ratings from TorontoUnicorn video collage.
It doesn't have a lot of hair on it. It actually is going to be appealing to people for those two reasons alone. The fingernail is noticeably clean.
Okay, turn
That's
off. I do dick ratings all the time on my fan page for the subscribers. Yes,
Yeah,
and I did a collage.
And it was a whole collage. You just went one after another after another. It was like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It was like bang, bang, bang. I mean, in this generation now, everything is just, you need to be this quick on the retention. Yeah, it just caught my eye. And it just shows another dimension of you, your silly, humorous side. Even though you weren't really being silly and humorous, you were being serious about
I
all
was
this.
being a helpful advice or constructive reviewer. Like I'm never gonna hurt someone's feelings. I'm never gonna be like, oh, your dick looks ugly. I'm gonna say like, oh, these are the things about your picture that I found distracting, or that other women would. I have even told men to strategically put like really fancy bottles of like hand lotion from Sephora in the background to get women more excited about their dick, because they'll be like, he shops at Sephora. Like she's gonna be like totally into it.
Okay. All right. Number 8.
If I could give some advice to anybody,
How I talk myself into going to Oasis Sex Club alone as a single woman pillow talk.
just go. Yeah, it sucks you might.
This pillow talk was your best pillow talk,
Really?
in my opinion. I mean, the first one you ever did, that was great. But this was the one where you really, your energy in this video just took over. I mean,
Really? Wow.
you just said right there, and like you might have heard it on my phone. It says, just go, just do it. It's gonna cost you $100. It's gonna suck. But like you always say, you're never ever going to have the experience unless you go.
Yeah.
You can sit back on the sidelines and wait all your life, and you even said it in the video. And later on, you take one of my favorite lines that you say,
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck are you waiting for? And I
That's
mean,
from this video?
yes, it is. And just the way you said it, it just jumped out at me. It was like, okay,
That's
you're
awesome.
fucking serious now. And that's the
awesome.
thing, is you are serious about what you do. And that's
Always,
something
yeah.
I
Even
think
when
that-
I'm silly, I'm serious.
I know, and I think that's one of the things I love about what you do. It's just you just get there. You just don't sit there. You can tell a little story and go around in the roundabout way that you do things. But when you really need to drive the point home,
Yeah.
you just get to it. It's like, forget all the other bullshit. Just get to the point.
And I get upset sometimes with people who don't deliver shit that efficiently to me. I don't want to have to, verbally or vocally like unwrap your fucking message. Like, just give it to me, and that's what I try to deliver back, right? Because I'm like, hey, if I'm the one that's like, true story. There's another creator out there that I was interested in hearing her message. She has very good thumbnails on her YouTube channel or whatever. Very good. Makes me want to click on them. Okay, I'm learning. I click on them, and I hear this person talk small talk at the beginning of her video about the weather, as she's holding her phone, wobbly walking, hearing the sounds of wind coming through her phone. So what I'm saying is the audio quality wasn't good. She was wobbly. She's talking. I closed the fucking video. I don't care what's on the other side of that crap. I don't have time for that. And that's what happens, is I don't just fast forward. I give up.
Yeah, because once you deal with that much.
Once you've lost interest in someone,
Yeah.
give them the fuck. If you have a good title, give me what you're offering.
Agreed.
I don't care about the small talks of life. I just don't. And I literally wrote to somebody who wrote hi or whatever on my YouTube. I was like, I hate, like, small talk kills me. And then he wrote, how are you? Behind. I was like, oh no.
I got 2 words for that. I got 2 words for that.
What?
Game over.
Yeah, basically.
If that's where you are, I think you guys got to go out there, work on your game a little bit. If you're ever going to talk to someone like her, or any woman for that matter, I'm sorry, but we're in a time and age where retention is very short. That might have been great in what, 1980?
Yeah, offer something good, offer something engaging. I've got to say though, when fans come to my OnlyFans page and they invest in me, basically by subscribing,
yes,
when they message me, hey, I let them know gently that for their future success with women, they might want to put some meat on the bone.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm actually able to give constructive advice to people without being harsh. I'm not harsh about it, of course not. I'm there to give back, right? But I do. When people are like, hey, how are you? I'm like, just so you know, that has dried up my panties as every woman. I mean that to be funny.
Yeah.
And then I say, I'm going to help you out. How about in the future, when you don't know what to say to somebody, and I give them advice.
Yeah.
Maybe he just came to jerk off on my pictures. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I gave him what I needed to give him to be successful in life and with women.
And I agree with that. I mean, you got to seriously think. You're going to get one shot with somebody, if it be anybody, if that. And you really got to make an impression because you know what? Everybody says, hey, hi, hello.
Yeah. I have a story for you, and I'm going to take my time. All right? So, I was with a lovely guy in the pool at Oasis. We were just talking, getting to know each other. And I was teaching him in this moment something, it was a fun moment, right? And he said, I'm sometimes a teacher in a club about, like, women and, like, how to pick up women and stuff. And basically, he's like, well, no. He's like, I've got a good line. And I was like, oh, yeah? So then he's, like, in a role play. So he comes up, he's like, hi, how are you? And I looked at him and I was like, so I'm already not interested. And he's like, no, but my line's coming. And I was like, that doesn't matter. I'm already not interested. Yeah. You don't have that time to waste. You come out of the fucking gate. What is that fucking race that happened today? The Kentucky Derby. You come out of that fucking race ready to get the person interested to talk back. Otherwise, you're like, deep, deep, deep.
Put your blinders on or you're going to lose. Stay
and basically,
focused.
Invest the energy. Invest something in that person so that they have a reason to say yes, a reason to be interested in you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Moving on. We have number 7.
I'm excited.
Let's see. What do we got for number 7? What did I put for number 7?
So I was just smoking a joint and I had this really funny, thing.
Alright, I'm gonna pause it.
Okay.
If you guys want to see these videos, their links are below, but it's called Humbly Coming Back to the Cock. Booty pics don't work well with women. Well, so it wasn't the only time in my life that I did a cock cleanse, which is a time when I've given up on single men for a while. It's frustrating. Like, they lose interest too fast after we fuck too fast. Like, all these things. I was like, fuck it all. So I took a big break and I decided I was gonna, like, try with women. And I really fucking fell flat on my face. And I was, like, not successful at it. I didn't know how to do it. The pop of the booty didn't work the same.
No.
And so I kind of had to make the video where I was like, all right, guys. I'm back. But let's talk about, like, terms,
Yeah, no, I agree. And probably some of I don't know what it was, but, I mean, some of the failures you probably had with dating women, I mean, the way women look at things is very different than the way us men look at things. We look at certain things one way. The way you think and feel about things is completely different. And you probably went with the same challenges.
Oh, man, I didn't even get in the door.
Were you the same kind of person who went, hi?
No, I definitely just didn't match with anybody who I felt wanted to even meet up. Like, it was like I tried and wasn't successful. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm more into a certain aesthetic of women. I like the femme presenting women. And so I found it to be out of place with lesbian women who were looking for much more of a converted dyke than me.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to disappoint people. I'm like flirting with the idea of like a woman. Like I'm not here to like, you know, be so hardcore about it. So I didn't know if I could find anything there, but I did not, and that's okay. But I did come back to the cock, and I had it with my tail between my legs, so to speak, and that's what that video is about.
Well, sometimes you have to eat a little humble pie.
Yeah, well, fuck that shit.
Oh, I like pie.
I humbly came back to cock. What did you think about that? Like, I fell flat on my face, tried to date women. Here I am being like, all right, I'll suck more dick.
Woohoo! No. It's an experience you went through. It's part of your journey. It's part of who you are. You gained some experience. You gained some insight about it all.
Yeah.
You took it back and you became a better person for it, right?
Yeah. It's like when you learn you gotta just be civil with people you live amongst, you know, and I'm like, all right, we've got to get along somehow.
Yeah. All right. Number 6. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, it's TorontoUnicorn.
Oh, is that Colorado boy?
Yes. And now I know we talked about this. Last time when we met in an interview, but this story, like I said,
I need to remember the title though. Yeah.
is the Colorado.
I think it's called Romance at a Sex Club.
Yes, Romance.
And Colorado Boy is in the title. Yeah.
But you'll get the link, okay?
Yeah. Tell us about the story. Why you like that one?
Okay, so the reason why I like the story, and I think I mentioned it in the interview before, is it's the one story where the guy actually, when I'm listening to your stories, the guy actually seemed decent. He was engaging. I could actually put myself in his shoes and actually go through the story. There was enough detail. It wasn't graphic in some degree. I mean, in other degrees, it was very, very colorful. But the point is I could actually hear the story, walk it through, and actually I could almost single-handedly remember the point where they're fucking right beside you, 3 feet away. I could actually picture that happening. I could see it. I could see, where was it, in the red room?
No.
Or was it in the virgin room?
Remember, because there was people beside us, so we were in the room beside the red room in the very far side.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
So I get an idea. And then when I actually went to Oasis, I kind of been looking around and going, okay, that story happened there. That story happened there. A lot of shit happened in the pool.
Yeah, so that happened. That's true. And that story was the story of a true sex club gentleman. The kind of romantic night, you know, and I can say romantic, by the way, without meaning I want a commitment from somebody.
No.
I can have a romantic night with a guy that doesn't live here. Who cares, right? But he gave me the feeling of being special. He chose me out of the rest of the girls. It felt like it, and it mattered. It made me feel more invested in him, and I was like, suddenly, like, he, like, and again, it also shows that you can win me over after a few hours if it's the right chemistry. This guy, I was not ready to fuck him right away, just like with everyone else. And this guy eventually, remember I accidentally flicked my hand. So I was in the pool, and I accidentally, and I knew he was going to take it as a sign, and he did.
What?
And then he hit on me and touched me.
Because you broke the touch barrier.
Because I did it, and I accidentally did it. And I remember in my head thinking, oh, fuck. And it's because I'm nervous. I'm a bit shy. As surprising as that is to hear. I'm a bit shy with men. I'm sexually, like, romantic or intimate with. At first, like, if I don't know, like, I'm not some bombastic woman all the time, right? I'm like, there's sometimes where I don't want to be kissed or touched, you know, yet. So this guy was really good at reading the signs. And then when I remember that, it was over from there. And I was like, oh, yeah, he can touch me now. That's fine.
Lucky, smart guy. All right, moving forward. Number 5. We're halfway done.
Okay, that's good.
We're getting there, people.
Hey, it's TorontoUnicorn, and I decided to make a little confession about
my darkest sexual fantasy confession, feminist values conflicting with my sexual arousal. It's true. That is an interesting video to still have up.
Well, of course.
It's old. It's bad lighting. I think there's music playing in the background.
Yes.
It's very much the unpolished version of me.
Yeah. But it's a very interesting video in the sense of who you are as a person and what you deeply desire. is very interesting. It's very the opposite.
And it was new to me in that video too. I remember being like, look, I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't know, and you were kind of you were talking about how disgusted you were.
No.
But at the same time, fascinated.
Yes, and I was new to aggressive sex back then, and new to, Facebooking. That was the fantasy, I think, right? Yeah. It's funny that I just know my videos so well because it is just me. It's like my whole real story is out there.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, the first few times I ever saw Facebooking porn, being really offended by it. And being like, because I didn't, like, I was just like, why are they treating that person like that? Like, I didn't understand why they wanted to. And so it was like years later, whatever, I'm in this lifestyle and I'm into exploring, and I got into submission, and then it became part of a submissive act for me. And I was like, now I understand what's in it for me. So it was really interesting. And that video was a really honest reflection of some conflicting feelings about that.
But it's also, from what I've come to learn, I mean, you're kind of a wanting vessel, so to speak. Would you, meaning like you're offering yourself to be submissive. You are offering your mouth. You are doing those things, and you didn't have any qualms about it.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Because you probably just blacked out and...
Well, I didn't black out, but...
Well, maybe not black out.
I experienced different types of emotional pleasure. And there's something about a give and take dynamic that I had found fulfilling for both sides.
Yeah.
Even though at first I was like as confused as anyone else might have been at some of these things. Like, I'm telling you, when I was brand new to this lifestyle, I still couldn't get over people wanting their butt slapped with like things other than a hand. Like, I was like new to all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, back then I was a moment in time of my evolution.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on. Where are we? Number 4?
Yeah.
I think we're at number 4. Number 4.
I like to think that I'm
Oh, fuck this one, really?
a good boy maker.
The good boy maker.
To meet ambitious men who want to
Okay, let's pause.
Yes.
mine.
So let me read that. So let me read the title again. It says, "Do you want to be a good boy for me?" And then in stars Energy ASMR Returning Unicorn. This was an authentic moment where I sometimes smoke weed and vibe, and I was dressed up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I filmed.
Sorry, I have to pause. How high were you when you did that?
I wasn't so much high as I was channeling the energy.
Okay.
Yes, which is what I usually do with my different feelings of femininity, and sometimes I'm more aggressive and my masculine energy comes out. It's just channeling different energy that's still all authentic.
Yeah, because good boys can only be good boys.
So right now I'm in my little feminine dress, so it's hard for me to be like, I'm a good boy maker. You know, like it's just one of those things where I present in certain energies at different times.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when I'm feeling the energy the ripest, the most moist, I hate that word too, but still, it's like I've got to tap it. I've got to put it into a camera to almost bottle it, to keep it and to deliver it out. And I will tell you that I do dominate men, and I do like to make them my good boys. I don't like bad boys. I like obedience. And I like, people making my life easier. So when I'm dominating men, I would talk to them like that. And I think that is the clip, is you got to see what I would actually be looking like if I was looking you in the eyes and asking if you wanted to be my good boy.
Well, all I remember was I saw that. I was at Canada's Wonderland that day when you released that. And I was sitting in the lineup, and I just was like this. And everybody's looking around at me like, what are you looking at? I was like, nothing.
How many times
Nothing right now.
Watch it. To be honest. It's a short clip. How many times? How many? 5?
I had to actually go to, once I finished riding a ride, and what I did was, it was Thunder Run. I went actually into the tunnel area where nobody was, so I could watch it privately and just be like...
Really? What did you like about it so much?
It was so sexy.
Really?
I was just like turned on. I was fucking turned on. I looked at it as just like, holy shit. And at this point, I had just met you like about 3-4 weeks ago in person.
Oh.
And I was like, wow. And this is also the period. It was around that time I really consumed her content. Like, I was consuming her content a couple months beforehand, but this is when I got to really look at the layers of who you were as a person. I knew about you being a swinger, having a good time, threesomes, and, you know, going through all that. But then when you started showing me some of the stuff that you don't let most people see, that is when it started really, it was like adding layers on layers or something. It's like having a really great dessert. And, you know, you just taste the sweet. No, you can taste the sweet and all the elements. God.
And I gave you access to my fan page because I wanted you to see the extra content, because you like and consume my content so much that I needed him to see it all, like not a fraction. And so I do have the extended version of the Good Boy video on my fan page. You know that, right?
I've never watched the extended on your
Oh, really? Well, I have to make sure I put it up, because there is after I turn off for YouTube, I say, do you want to see what good boys get? And then I took off my top. So like I did other things that I didn't put on YouTube because I don't want to get fired from YouTube.
No.
So that's why I say people come to my fan page, is like I can only do so much on these social media mediums, and I am in my opinion, charmingly vulgar, don't give no shits girl. And so I would love to expand my creativity beyond the community guidelines, if you know what I mean.
All I have to say is it was hot.
Yes.
It was a hot video. And I was just like,
the Good Boy Maker. I bet you I could channel that energy in do it another time. But you know what? I just got wigs, and I want to experiment with wigs and role playing, and I think I'm gonna have a dominant persona. And so when I do, maybe I'll recreate the Good Boy Maker.
Oh boy. All right, guys. Now we're getting down to the top 3. Here we go. Number 3.
Oh, the inside tour of Oasis Aqua Lounge, but the 2022 version. Why?
The tour.
Okay, the Oasis Aqua Lounge is a sex club in Toronto, Ontario, and I did a tour video of this club because normally cameras are not allowed inside sex clubs.
Yes.
And so I was allowed when they were closed by one of the lovely owners, and she and I were both on camera introducing the club to a bunch of people who maybe had never even heard the concept of a sex club. And I'm telling you, I have met people who have found the club through my channel, who lived 5 minutes away, who did not know that these things existed. And that is the story I hear over and over again. And that is why that video is out there, and to help people find this club and find a place in it if they're so inclined.
Yeah, I mean, why is this video so great? Well, one, it's your home base. It's Oasis. And one of the things you're trying to be, the way I see it, is you're an information provider. You're trying to create a wonderful world for swingers to come into if they want to choose to go into lifestyle, or even if you're curious. You would rather hear it from her, giving you a no BS approach to it, something that's honest, something that's real. She's very real. I've gotten to know her, and it's one of the things that makes her charmingly vulgar is the fact she's not all spit and polish. Not even close. No. And that is lovely. And I think what is important about that video is it's hard to take a chance on something so mysterious, so in the dark. It's like a lifestyle such as the sexual swinger lifestyle. And I remember when I was nervous and I was like, well, I was Googling, like, what is this place? And I was digging up anything I could. And to Oasis's credit, they did have some older content available. It just it didn't cover the ground as a guest. Like, what do the bathrooms look like? You know, like I wanted to see it all. And so I remember thinking how different it would have been if I could have seen it. And so when I got into the lifestyle and I started to thrive in the lifestyle, I realized there's an opportunity here to help other people maybe get over that scary hump. And I know firsthand many, many viewers have come and taken a chance on the club because of that specific video. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a great video. It also has a great series to it as well. You got to check out the X Club, of course, my home base. Yeah. You got M4 on there. You got NYX as well. Yeah. Yeah. And in each video, you get a special glimpse into her. Well, you get to see her ass. Yeah, I didn't do that on purpose. Not gonna lie. I literally, every time I have my filmer, I'm like, you make sure you catch my ass when I walk upstairs. No kidding. Let's not be coy about that. No, we're not gonna be coy. All right, everybody. Number 2. What is number 2?
Really?
Yes, of
the number
course.
one top unfulfilled sexual fantasy for most, if not all, women I've asked. This is an old video.
Yes, because the classics never go out of style.
And this is my second highest YouTube video view. Let me see it again. Was it at 350,000?
350,000.
So that one was old. It's an older video, and it was again in bad lighting and everything.
But you got YouTube money on that.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I got something.
350,000 hits, people. Come on.
Yeah. Well, most of my content is sexually, like, you know, they don't reward sexual content.
No, but it is charged.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that sometimes my content doesn't actually make a ton of money on YouTube because of the sexual nature of it.
True. Okay.
Which is why you hear me say D a lot. Yeah, so that video, the number one sexual fantasy, is the whole hands above head on the wall thing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting quizzed and I'm fucking acing my own shit, which I should, but like, you know, it's true. And I remember there's not one exception of a woman who didn't also want this.
Yeah.
I have not, even if I do find one today, I would make note of it. I haven't. And it's just this thing of this feeling of take me.
This is you getting into your submissive role again.
But to be honest,
yeah,
kind of, yes, I can see where you're going with that. But the point is, there's many women who are not submissive or want to be that would still love this move. This is the point of this video, was like, this is a move that most women, if not all, have agreed they want. Is that a man who's going to just grab my arms and put them above my head and make me feel like he has to have me right then, like with consent, This video also got me in some hot water, if you read the comments of the video. And so I did make a follow-up video to address the controversy, and I do link that in the video now. But I have to say, a lot of people have justifiably expressed concern over, you know, not wanting to go to jail by grabbing a woman and putting, and I was like, you know what? As much as I would love to be, you know, oh, they missed the point, I learned the point. The point is, maybe men, because I also mentioned this in the video, that's currently underutilized. I said it's the number one fan, but it's currently underutilized. Well, I realized why it's because guys don't want to go to jail by grabbing some girl and throwing her. I'm like, oh, I get it. Now I just had to make the follow-up video to explain the consent role. And so I did not mean that you should do this move on a stranger or somebody you don't have an intimate relationship with. You should already be a sexual partner with somebody who then puts that as your move on them. And so that was an important clarification I added later.
Yeah. Well, I think now that I think about this in a lot of retrospect, this explains a lot of things, like why you're concerned, maybe why you put the rebuttal in, is because I think most people, guys or girls, in any kind of situation where you're that aggressive, you got to make sure you have the order right, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
it's
consent is always up first.
Yes, but like, you're not going to walk down the street, see a girl you like, and just throw her against a wall and put your hands above her head.
Not if you want to do this well.
Exactly. So I mean, I'll give you balls. I mean, you got balls if you're going to do it, but at the same time, I'm just saying is, you got to make sure you get the order right, because if you don't get the order right, it's just going to go bad.
It's true. And let me say that I've had a few men put this move on me, and I remember each and every one of those times vividly. So let's just put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, what's number one?
Numero uno. Let's see what number one turned out to be.
What is number one? This is such a big decision.
Number one, obvious.
It
has to be.
It is May 18th, 2019.
My talking with my mouth full, oversharing on steroids, story time video. My first ever YouTube video on this channel was a live stream, and it was from a few years ago, called Threesome at a Sex Club in Toronto, My Story.
Yes.
And it was not meant to, in my opinion, like, I was okay with it being public, but I didn't expect a lot of people to see it. And it was more meant to be a way to save the video to my computer. I wasn't skilled back then. I don't know why I didn't think to take my iPhone. I used my webcam to tell my story. And then I saved the file off YouTube. And that was it. And then I left the video on YouTube, but it was just a medium for me.
It was, yes.
Anyways, that video goes viral randomly after the pandemic lightened up and society started opening, especially in our geographical area. And that was the time the video went viral, and it just suddenly took off. And when I rewatch it, it's a great video, sure, but my goodness, do I also look so unpolished.
But that's why we love you.
I mean, I was like chewing tapioca balls from a bubble tea and speaking.
I just loved it. No, you even had to take a timeout, go to the fridge, get your bubble tea, plant your ass back here, take a suck of the damn straw. That's not all you suck. But anyways.
I actually remember the words I said when I sat down.
What were they? Please refresh.
Because I was talking about whether the story, and I said about how I looked and they both had attractive genitals. And then I grabbed a drink and I sat down and I took a sip and I said, "It matters." I remember.
It matters.
So wow. If I find that clip, I'll put it here. But yeah, it was good.
Now that couple was not the very first couple who
that was the second couple.
That was the second. Now I have a visual of that, but you were very descriptive, so it helped.
Yeah.
All I could think of was the red room. I see two black shadows, and all I know is the girl was okay, and she was kind of, what is it?
The girl was very sexy, but she was just not bisexual.
Yeah, she was blasé about the whole thing. The guy, on the other hand, he was fucking aggressive with you.
He was, and I do like aggressive fingering and stuff, so in a way it was right up my alley, but he was doing it too hard, and he hurt my vagina. And I was so new to the culture, and even just in my own sexual empowerment, to say something. Yeah. And so now I would say something, yes, but back then I remember just kind of taking it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that went through my head is I know you as who you are now, and some of the things you talk about that you don't want done to you, and I'm hearing this in this video going, okay, is this what's going on here? Is this from learned experience? Is it just the fact that, like you said, you were taking one for the team, which in my opinion, if you're in this lifestyle, is a big no-no.
Well,
but yeah.
I've got to say, us women, and I know I can't speak for all women for sure, but we take a lot of shit on our chin, metaphorically, with a smile. And I think just this week, and I'm not going to out anybody because that would be uncool, but one of my friends had sex with a guy this week and said to me that her fucking clitoris was raw because he did not know what he was doing, and she didn't until her pussy was raw. So yeah. It still happens to my friends, and they still smile and don't say anything.
Yeah, but that comes with the territory.
I do too. There's many times where I'm just like, oh God, hurry up! Like, I don't know.
Ooh, brutal.
Yeah, well, if you could only hear our inner thoughts. Oh, that's what TorontoUnicorn's channel's for.
Or you can see what women really want, and hope you're Mel Gibson, and I can just channeling in those thoughts.
No, I remember that. Hey, I got a cultural reference. That's good.
You did.
I did what women want.
Yes.
And he was a lawyer, liar.
He was an advertising executive.
Yes, he was. That's a good movie. We should watch that again. Anyways, so why that video? Number one, you liked when I get up a bubble tea, but what was it about the story?
Well, the story itself is compelling. You went into blow-by-blow description, which I don't. Sometimes your fans love it. Sometimes I don't need to know the blow-by-blow. But in this one, this was very palatable. It was very real. This would be like anybody who's new to any experience, be swinging or whatever. You're going to something. You're having that almost like you're going to talk yourself out of the moment.
Yeah.
And then you have the moment. You find the way to get out of your own way and have what you want. And I think what makes the video important is for a number of reasons. Number one, it's your most heavily consumed video. Yeah. Number two, the story's real. 3, no spit and polish is what I know you as. And I feel it's just, this video just has that charm to it. It's what really makes you unique.
Interesting.
And that's the only way I can put it. It's one of a kind. You will. I don't think anybody else could ever do that video the same way.
I don't even think I could retell it. I tried. I recreated it, and then it got taken down off my YouTube with a strike. Yeah. I just retold the same story, and I was like, oh my God. But I did have a podcast episode with it. But legitimately, now. That video would be taken down in a second if that was on YouTube.
For sure.
I won't even edit the description of that video, even though there's a typo in it.
Yeah. because you're afraid you'll
It'll
undo the
get
grandfather.
re-triggered right back into the algorithm, and I'm fucked.
Yeah,
So
because I think at the time you got away with it.
it's age restricted, but
yeah.
At this point in time, I don't know how it's possible. It would qualify again for YouTube.
No, but like I said, it's probably been grandfathered because at the time it seemed to work.
As long as I don't touch it. If I touch it,
yeah,
it's reactivated. It's reincarnated. It's fucking back to the algorithm. Fucking check.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and I think, as I said, it's the video that changed everything for you.
Yes.
Without that video, nobody would have known who you were.
It's true.
And you wouldn't have met R. You wouldn't have met Amelia.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have met me.
Yeah. It's
because
true.
I wouldn't have known. And let me just clear something up for me, because I know I'm the fan, and a lot of people probably have a lot of questions. Well, why are you such a fan? I did this initially as a deep dive on what swingers are like, because as a DJ, my biggest thing is to know my crowd inside and out.
You DJ at a sexual lifestyle club.
Yes.
Having said that, where you DJ, there's no sex that happens in front of you. It's in the back room.
No.
So you don't see the hanky-panky, but you see the hanky-panky in preparation.
You see little aspects of it, but not full-blown. Not full-blown.
Yeah.
But my challenge was at that time was, how do I compete against sex? I mean, if I gotta say, I'm gonna dance here and have a good time, or I can get my rocks off, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take pleasure every single time. So, as the DJ, I know I'm gonna lose the floor sooner or later, and my job is to try and keep an atmosphere and a vibe. And for those who aren't interested in getting the rocks off, I still want it to be a great night for them, but I don't want them to sit there being completely alone and just like feeling dumb, because I know what it's like to dance in a club alone.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
Can I tell you a funny story about the X Club?
Uh-oh, here we go.
So when I was there with my single lady friends the last time, I remember we were up chilling, we had a booth, we were hanging out, you know. The night got a little late, so it got past midnight, and I guess a lot of the crowd had gone to the back room to have playtime.
Yeah.
And that included all the single men. Now, we were in the club thinking, let's find a single man and then take him to the back. But there was none. There was none. We were like looking, like there's none. And to the point where I was going to have to potentially ask you to be like, where are they? Like, did they disappear? And not only then did I realize when we went back to the back, they were already back there because they were allowed to just be back there.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, that was a good lesson to learn, because I'm glad I didn't go home thinking there was no single men. They were there. They were just in the play areas already.
You gotta remember, that's on a Friday.
Yes.
Saturday's a little bit different. It's more couple-ish, like another certain club that your heart's at.
Yeah.
But you can still get back there, but I think you have to be invited.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is the whole gist of this whole thing. This top 10 is so that you get a better understanding of my mindset. And you only made me pick 10. I mean, I could have easily made this 15. I could have easily made this 20. So looking at this, these were the ones that really stood out for me and have some personal attachment to as well. And that's kind of the person I am. So that being said,
I did notice that almost all of them were from 2 years ago.
because that was when you started this and you hit it out of the park right from go.
But I had such garbage content in my own mind. Like, it was bad audio. It was me having a fucking copyright song playing in the background as I'm giving advice. Like, I had to learn quick in this industry how to not make those mistakes. But it goes to show that maybe the more you polish something, the less special it can be.
Agreed. It's not that it isn't, like, I'm a guy, if you ever come to one of my shows at X Club, you will see a very, I would have to say, spit and polish kind of presentation. But that's just who I am as a person. At the end of the day, I mean, I grew up in Oakville. I mean, they say anybody who lives in Oakville's got a silver spoon in their hand. Not true, but you get the idea.
Kind of true.
Okay, fine. But anyways, the point is I've always been a very presentable person. That's just the way I roll. And if I'm going to do something, why be good when you can be great? With you, the greatness comes from just being your unapologetic self. And yeah, you had mistakes, but that's what makes things charming. And that's what makes things real. Because if you're going to be sitting here and it's all perfect and that, we're going to start doubting your authenticity and how genuine you you are. And that's the one thing is, I've lived beyond Oakville, I've lived in Ottawa, I've lived in St. Catharines, I've lived in the GTA, and you meet a lot of different people. And I think the people I like the most are the ones who are real. They're genuine. They don't have to have pretenses. It's just, this is who I am.
And so you think those videos capture that realness?
Yes.
The really early videos where I was like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Yeah, and I think, but that's the thing is, we all relate to that. It's very relatable. When you get to see the faults in the way you present things, I mean, it's what makes us human as well. Like, we look at you and you're Toronto Unicorn. You're an entity. How could anybody live to that? I mean, that's incredible.
What do you mean by that?
You have notoriety. You have,
I have notoriety in the local lifestyle clubs, but not on the streets of Toronto.
But you're a brand.
Yes, I'm a brand in a business, yes.
And that's the thing, is you're a brand. And as a brand, people just can't, to pull it off, you're a brand, but yet you have this very down-to-earth feel to it. Most brands do not have a down-to-earth feel to it. People can see through it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest questions I had when I first was watching your content. I was going, is this girl real? 1 and 2, could she really be this cool?
I am as real as they fucking come. Yeah. And this is the thing is, I'm watching this great little sitcom thingy on Netflix right now, and it has some imagery of somebody getting a bit famous and like them getting an agent and then dyeing their tongue and like dyeing their teeth whiter and like going on a stupid diet. And I just remember thinking, as Toronto Unicorn, I will never whiten my teeth for some agent. I fucking hate that feeling. It is the most uncomfortable feeling to have suddenly feel like you're sensitive everywhere. No, I don't need to smile that bright. So I'm not going to go on a diet to fit into society's expectations when I'm here to shatter them. So in a way, I'm glad that my brand is so independent, because I would never just want to like sign on to something and be like, okay, size down to a size 4. I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah, I would not appreciate that. That is what the essence of who you are is. I mean, everybody
imperfect.
No.
Eats with their mouth full. That's true. I mean.
Okay, but you know what? That's all right. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's just who you are.
It is, and I think that's what makes this journey so fun, but also so vulnerable, because I'm like, what if people get bored of me? What if people think I'm, but here's the thing, and I was thinking about, if I was ever, blessed enough to have a long career as Toronto Unicorn, you best believe I'm not going to be in here putting fillers in my face and trying to I'm going to age gracefully. I'm not judging anybody's decisions. But the point is, my realness is real. It's not going to change. Even if I get older and I start to look less attractive, people are going to see me age the way that, I might get good makeup, but I don't think I'm ever going to get cosmetic surgery. I mean, there's nothing, Botox, like, you've got to be kidding. No. I wouldn't do that pain. No. I wouldn't do the pain of that. No. I won't even get my teeth whitened. You think I'm gonna do Botox? Fuck that shit. I'm gonna age gracefully, and you can come along for the ride. And I hope I make it a little easier for everybody. So if I'm blessed enough to have a long career, stick with me. I'll keep it real the whole way, even if it gets boring. I'll keep it fucking real and boring.
And that's why we love you just the way you are.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Steve, for doing this homework and thoughtful, collection of videos. That was pretty cool.
No problem.
All right, thanks everybody. Links are below.